Happy Lionsgate Portal, everybody. I hope you're all feeling great. Since the Lionsgate Portal opened, I have felt a huge change in energy. Prior to the Lionsgate Portal opening, I'd been feeling a little bit, not down, because I don't get down, but a little bit irritated maybe. A little bit unsettled. I can't really explain it, but something. And then when the Lionsgate Portal opened, since that moment, I have felt great. I felt very tired. I've been doing a lot of sleeping where I can, which is not very often. But I felt very tired, very blissed out, lots of love energy coming in. And I just hope it continues up to, the peak, which is on the 8th of August. Many apologies that I haven't done a video in a few weeks. After the last video that I made, I went away for a couple of days to Glastonbury. So I was guided to go to Glastonbury to put some light back into that area after the music festival that had happened there the week before. And when we got there, the energies felt quite dark. But we walked around the village, we walked around the land, we walked all the way up to the Tor, putting light into all the land around the Tor. We put light into the Tor, and we also put light into the wells and the waters in Glastonbury. And by the time we left, it felt a lot better there. So hopefully we've helped in some way. So then I came back, and then I got given the entire plotline for my second book in the Isadora Stone series. So for those of you who haven't watched all of my videos, as well as being a QHHT practitioner, I also write books as well. And I write books to wake people up. So the themes in my fiction books are all to do with the topics of conversation that in the awakened community we are all aware of, but maybe not necessarily people are aware of in the unawakened community. So the book that my first book is Isadora Stone and the Magic Portal, and I have just been given the plot line for the second book, which will be called Isadora Stone and the Battle for Inner Earth. So in the first book, we meet Isadora Stone, who is a 15-year-old telepathic schoolgirl who lives in America, based in Oregon. And she develops this really special relationship with a Sasquatch. And from that special relationship that they have, where they meet in the woods, she ends up going on this amazing journey where she gets taken to Area 51. She ends up going off planet. She ends up fighting in a battle with all of these beings that are trying to take over a different planet to Earth. And we also meet lots of inner Earth beings in the first book. The second book is going to expand on all of that, expand on all of the characters from the first book. But I've also got some really, really amazing characters coming into book 2. And I'm very excited about writing and seeing my characters again, because I wrote this back in 2017. So it's been a while since I've revisited Isadora. I also wanted to just very briefly touch on my books. And I know some of you watch my videos to listen to the QHHT stuff, and you must be thinking, why is she always pushing her books? What's the reason there? Well, the reason there is, first and foremost, I am a mother. I'm a mother to 2 young children. And I only do 2 QHHT sessions a week. That's all I do. So I don't know if you would even class that as part-time. The rest of the time, I'm with my children, spending time with my children, watching them grow up. And at night time, it's my release, I guess. It's my escapism. It's something that I can do as a light worker to channel my ideas and the things that I've been shown into something tangible that I can then give to somebody, and they can read it and it might awaken something in them. And I also wanted to touch on the fact that I think a lot of people may think, God, she's a QHHT practitioner, she writes books, she's on YouTube, she must be rolling in it. No. Nothing could be further from the truth. So this book, $8.99 in the UK, the list price. So Amazon take 40% off of that list price, which is £3.60. So they take that straight away. And then a book of this size costs £4 to print. So I earn £1.40 from every sale of these books. And over the past 3 months, I've sold 100 books. So that's £140, which I know is a lot of money, £140. But in the UK, that feeds my family for 2 weeks. So I don't want anyone to sort of get the idea that I'm rolling in it, because I'm really, really not at all. And my QHHT, I do 2 sessions a week and I charge £120 for a session. So I am not earning a lot of money. And my YouTube videos are free because it's free to subscribe. And I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so I think it's 1,000 subscribers you have to have before you can apply to put adverts on your videos or something. I don't know. So I don't earn a lot of money at all. And a lot of my QHHT sessions, you know, I'll meet people and they'll say to me, look, you know, I'd love to have a session with you. I really feel like this is something that would really benefit me, but I don't have the money. But I do Reiki or I make jewellery. So, you know, could we do an exchange? And I always say yes. Because for me, you know, where we're working towards, I want to live in a world where we are exchanging energy. And if I can help somebody through healing, and they can help me through Reiki, then, you know, that's brilliant. There doesn't need to be, in every instance, money that's exchanged. So, you know, I do work that is like that, whereby we don't exchange money. We exchange energy, I guess. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I've had a few people say to me, you know, God, calm down. You must be earning so much money doing all your QHHT and all your writing and your YouTube. Just give yourself a rest. I ain't earning much at all. I do this because I want to help. I'm a light worker and I have 2 young children, so I'm limited in the kinds of things that I can do. I can do 2 sessions a week. I can help 2 people heal a week because that is not too much of a burden. I know they don't see it as a burden, but it's not too much of a burden to ask family members to watch my children whilst I do 2 sessions a week. And I write my books at night time whilst my children are sleeping. And I do my YouTubes as and when I can. You know, if the kids are out with my parents and I've not got a session booked in, I'll quickly transcribe a session and I'll whack a YouTube out. So I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this to help. And, you know, some of the ways that I can help, and I do help, is I'll take the kids out every day and we'll go to the park and I literally speak to everybody. Everybody I see that will actually make eye contact with me, I'll speak to them. And I'm sure there must be like signs up in all the Derbyshire parks, do not speak to this woman. And if she hands you a business card, run away quick because she's going to try and get you to do spiritual hypnotherapy. Oh, yeah, so supermarkets as well. Me and my kids will go to a supermarket. I can't get out of the supermarket for 3 hours because I'm literally chatting to everyone. My kids are like, Mummy, can we go home now? You know, the food's melting. Can we go home? Can I have my ice lolly before it drops off the stick? So yeah, just wanted to cover that so everybody is aware that yes, I write books, but I'm doing it for the right reasons. I know I make a little bit of money out of writing the books, but I do have to feed my children as well because we are still living in 3D. So, and on the spirit of helping others and talking about book writing, one of my good friends, Jo Girardi, has just published her first book on Amazon. I think it's gone live today. So I haven't got a copy to show you because it's literally just gone live today. So I'm going to be ordering it as well to support her today. And her first book is entitled Selfful Living Workbook, the Grail Guide to Self-Care, Well-Being and Refilling Your Sacred Chalice. And Jo is a very, very, very wise spiritual being that I actually met when I first started doing the QHHT sessions. She was one of the very first people that I ever hypnotised. Wonderful lady, and we've remained friends since. And I have no doubt that that book will be amazing. And I believe it's around sort of self-care if you're a light worker, and you know, looking after yourself and how you can look after yourself when your job is actually giving so much out to other people. And that is so important. And I think we all need to be reminded of that every now and again, myself included, because I will often give so much to the point where I am just burnt out, just literally, I've got nothing left. So yeah, I'm sure Jo's book will be amazing and I will be purchasing it at some point today when I get a minute to look. So today's session that I wanted to share with you guys, we don't get a session like this very often. It was a very, very special, beautiful session, and it was really exciting for me because I love fairies, and my children love fairies, and we often go out to the woods to try and spot fairies. We've got fairy doors in our houses, fairy wallpaper, just fairies all over the place. So when this lady went into the first life that she went in, I was just literally, yes, you know, this is amazing. So a lot of the sessions that we get, particularly more recently, are quite dark. Some of them can be quite dark because a lot of people are dealing with trauma that's being brought up because of the energies that are coming in, that's encouraging us all to purge the darkness that we hold within us. So a lot of people are seeing quite dark lifetimes. Some people that you see will have entities. And so to have this session, which was just pure light, was an absolute pleasure for me as a practitioner, and I feel really, really lucky. It's quite a lengthy one, so you know, you might want to watch this video in 2 goes, I don't know, but I'm just going to go through it. If I make any bloopers, I do apologise, but it's a long one and I haven't got time to redo it, so just bear with me. So this lady, I didn't even get into the main hypnosis part where you really, really deepen the hypnotherapy. She went straight in at the beautiful place. And the beautiful place is something that we practitioners ask people to visualise to get all of the inner mind working before we take them on this journey through the hypnosis. But occasionally you'll get somebody who's really ready for a hypnosis session and they just go straight in at the beautiful place, and this lady did. So she started describing this beautiful place that had these huge tall mushrooms that were much bigger than her. So as soon as she said that, I knew that we weren't talking about a normal visualisation that she was doing on Earth. I knew that we'd gone straight in. So the rest I will read. Describe these mushrooms for me that look like seats. They're a whitey creamy colour with specks of brown on top, but they are huge like stools. I could sit on them. And as you look at these mushrooms, what else do you see in this place that you are in? There's big birds, big blue and yellow. What kind of birds do they look like? Describe in more detail. All different. Some look like parrots, there's reds and greens. And then there's birds that are like a royal blue but brighter. There's lots of those little blue ones. And as you look at these little blue birds, I want you to become aware of yourself and where you are stood. Become aware of your feet. What do your feet look like? They're little, they're tiny. And then she laughs. They look a bit like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, like bright colours, like that. But my feet are tiny. I've got little red shoes on. And as you become aware of the rest of your body, what do you have on? A tutu. And she laughs again. It's like a pink on the top, but it's got white underneath. What about your head? Is there anything on your head? I've got like a stick thing in my hand. What is this stick thing in your hand? Take a look at it. It's like a stick that's got like a swirl around it, which doesn't seem to be attached to it. It's a swirl of glitter coming out of the stick. The stick's wider at the bottom. It's a bit like an ice cream cone, but a spiral. What colour is that spiral? It's like a lilac colour. What does this stick do? Why is it in your hand? It helps me with things. What kind of things does it help you with? When I want things. The stick helps you get the things that you want. And how does it work? When I flick it, whatever I'm thinking of comes. And what kinds of things do you use this stick for? What are the things that you want? Like there's a butterfly that can't fly because it's hurt its wings, and I flick my stick and it's better. It helps me do what I want to do. And is that the kind of thing that you do with this stick? You help other creatures get better? Yes. And as you look down at yourself, are you female? Yes. If someone were to call your name, if you listened deep inside, what would they call you? Eliza. So Eliza, where is this beautiful place with the mushrooms and birds? It's where I live. And do you live with anyone else, or is it just you? I feel that there's others. And when you're flying around with this stick and helping others, do you do this alone, or do you do this with someone else? I don't fly on the stick. Do you fly? I raise a little bit. How do you do that? And then there's a big long pause while she's working out how she rises up off the ground a little bit. My back. What is it that's on your back that allows you to rise up? She laughs again. I've got wings. Describe your wings for me. They're in 3 layers, 3 parts on top of each other on each side, and they flutter fast. What do these wings allow you to do? I go up a bit. I don't go up high. I just rise up off the ground a bit. What does it feel like to leave the ground? I feel free. It allows me to move. Do others have these wings? We're all the same. Oh, I've got a band around my head. What is this band? What does it allow you to do? I think it's just a headband. It doesn't do anything. What is it that you do when you lift off the ground? I just wander around this forest, seeing the creatures, spending time near the waterfall that leads to the stream. What is it about the waterfall that you like? It's my favourite place. It's where most of us go. Who else is it that goes to this waterfall? Other people like me. We're just happy. We just laugh and we're happy. So your people that you mention, what would we call your kind? I suppose you would call us fairies. You're a fairy. Whereabouts is it that you live? In the bottom of the tree. Why is it that you live in the bottom of the tree? Why? At that point, in her voice, it just sounded like she couldn't understand why I was asking her why they lived in the bottom of this tree. She was like, don't you get it? And I didn't. Why did you choose the bottom of the tree and not the top? We feel safe in the bottom. It's our home. What does your home look like? What you'd imagine the bottom of a tree to look like, but it's hollow. And when we're in there, it's all bright. What is it that makes it bright? Us, we light up. How is it that the inside of the tree is hollow? It's as though it's been made for us, but I don't see any of us working to build it. What is there inside this home? We have smaller mushrooms in there as seats and leaves. We lay on the leaves. We don't need much. It just all lights up and looks Christmassy. How many of you live in this home? Lots. Lots are coming and going. It lights up as we all give off a different colour. What colour is it that you give off? Yellow. Is that your favourite colour? No. And then she says, I wonder if that's connected to my headband. Why my headband is yellow. What do the colours represent that you give off? Oh, I see yellow all around my body. I'm not sure what the colours represent. There's blues and greens and lilacs. And in this place that you call home, that you share with these fairies, is there anyone that you consider as special to you? We're all special. I thought that was lovely. We're all just the same. What is it that you do all day as these different coloured fairies? We just dance about and look at everything, plants, small animals. How do you look after the plants and small animals? It's drawing the yellow from me. It needs the yellow that I give off. It must be energy. It must be my yellow that it needs. And what does the plant do with this yellow? It makes it strong. And how does it do that? It's because it draws the yellow energy in. It's like it's a hoover sucking the energy in from me. And it has some off of all the other coloured fairies as well. Sometimes it needs yellow, sometimes it needs more pink or more blue. How does it feel as a plant takes energy from you? It feels good. It makes me feel stronger. I get a boost as if I'm getting a load more energy put into me as well. So giving your energy away increases it. So what do you do for the small animals? I help them when they are weak and hurt themselves. And how do you do that? Sometimes I just need to flick my stick and the glitter does it. Can you communicate with the other plants and animals? Yes, we all understand each other. How is it that you are able to understand each other? We just think. So you can have a conversation with a plant through thinking. Yes. Do you talk to all of the plants? Yes. And the water? How do you talk to the water? The water is a being too. When it rains, and then you get a little drop, comes off a leaf, and it drops down onto the ground. It goes through the earth, and then it's recycled back up again, and it gets drawn back up again. What conversations do you have with the water? What does the water have to tell you? How to respect the water as it's alive? Do you drink water? Yes. What about the trees? Do you talk to the trees? Yes, they keep us safe, so we have a lot to thank them for. Are the trees your friends? Yes. What do you talk to the trees about? They talk about the water that they suck up from the ground, so the water is helping them. They're just happy as they're in the woods. Everyone in the woods is happy. So then I closed that scene and moved her on to try and get to a more important scene in the life of this little fairy Eliza. And so I ask her where she is, and she says, we're in the woods, but we're hiding as there's a dog coming and its owner. Why is it that you have to hide when a dog and an owner comes? We hide in the trees. Are you fearful of the dog and its owner? We're only little, and we don't want them to stand on us and hurt us. Most of them don't know that we are there anyway. Why is it that they don't know that you are there? Most of them can't see us. Why can't they see you? Because they don't believe in us. Do you believe that you have to believe in you to be able to see you? You have to be able to accept if you do see us. Have you ever had anyone who has seen you before? No, I've not. What about your friends? Yeah, some have spoken about it. It's usually children that have seen them. Why is it that children can see them? What is it that's special about children? They're still new to earth, so they still believe until the grown-ups tell them not to. Because of their imaginations, they can see us. What does it feel like to be a fairy? Magical. I love it. What is your source of happiness? What is it that makes you feel so happy? We just get to help all the little creatures, and we get to live in this beautiful place. Do you ever need any help? No, everyone just loves each other. Are there other magical creatures that live in your forest? The ladybirds are really big. The ladybirds are bigger than me. Bigger than you? You must be very small. But she clarified with me after the session that in this magical world that she was in, which is obviously in the 4th dimension, ladybirds in that dimension are much bigger than fairies. So I was thinking, oh, she's smaller than a ladybird, so she must be really small. But later on she told me no, they're much, much bigger in the 4th dimension. My feet are tiny like doll's shoes, but the ladybirds where I am are big, like the mushrooms are big. What other creatures are there? There's little green men. They're bigger than me. They're not like the dwarves, they're littler. They've got beards, plodding along. Oh, what's their job? They do more with the grass. They keep everything looking nice. What would their kind be called? Shamrock. The Shamrock people? You also mentioned dwarves. Are there dwarves that live where you are? Yes, and I can see a taller man than the Shamrock people with pointy ears. What do? They keep the place looking good, but in a different way. They clear up the rubbish that people leave. So as a fairy, Eliza, how do you connect to the planet? What do you mean? How do you connect to the planet that you live on? Does the planet talk to you like the trees and the water does? No. Do you ever speak to the rocks? I put my hand on the rocks. What do the rocks have to say? I just put my hand on the rocks and I feel a vibration off the rocks, and I feel they feel something coming off me as well. Everything here, we just all love each other, and everything makes sure that everybody feels the love. And this place where you are, this magical world, is this another dimension on planet Earth, or is this somewhere else? There was a really long pause here. And she said, it feels like somewhere else, but it can't be because of the dogs and the people. Was there ever a time when the fairies existed in the same world as the humans, and the humans could see the fairies? I think there was, but I can't remember that. It was a long time ago. What do the fairies feel about the humans? Sad. Why do they feel sad about the humans? Because of how their world appears to be so different to ours. How does their world appear to be to you? They can't see us. They don't acknowledge we exist. And yet we live in this happy world with all this love, and they are not a part of it. If you could give the humans some advice, what advice would you give them? Show more love. Show more love to each other. Be more open to what is out there. There is more than what they can see, and they will see us if they allow it. How do you allow yourself to see a fairy? Because I'm like, I want to see a fairy. You've got to believe it to start. Yep. And if someone believes, where would they go to see a fairy? Lakes, streams, trees, even trees in gardens. Are there fairies everywhere? Yes, there's loads of us. Why is it that you like to be near water? It's so peaceful, the noise, it makes us feel more alive. I get my energy from the water. Do fairies eat anything? No. Do you get any energy from the sun? Yes, we like the sun. How do you feel about the sun? We like the rays beaming down on us. It's important that we get the sun when it's out. Why do you think the human world is so sad? What is it that makes them so sad? They're all greedy and all out for themselves. They look out for themselves instead of each other. They don't share what they've got. Do the fairies have any message, do you think, that they could pass on to these humans that might help them? The thing that will help them is love. But they won't do it. Why won't they do it, Eliza? Because they've been this way for too long now. Do you see a time when that will change? It could change, yeah. If people start spreading love, if love spreads, things will change. Do you ever think that there will be a world where humans and fairies can coexist with each other? Yes, as long as they make this change. And what changes is it that they need to make? And I know I'm labouring this point at the moment, but I'm talking to a fairy. I just want to try and get as most information as possible. They don't need to be so selfish and all money orientated. Stop trying to keep up with the next person. Concentrate on themselves and those around them and love each other. So I close the scene then, move her to another important day, because I'm trying to get to a place where something happens. And she says, I'm flying around on the back of a white bird. I think it's a dove. Is the bird okay with you being on its back? Yeah, we all love each other and we mess about with each other. I can see the little people going about in the forest and the stream. We've stopped up in the tree and I feel the trees and the branches swaying. Is this bird your friend? Yes. What can you see from up in the tree? All the trees are swaying in the breeze. They're all bright orange leaves. Can you see the sun from where you are? Yes, it's coming through the trees. What does it feel like when the sun touches your skin? It's like a buzz, like a vibrating buzz. Can you speak to this bird? Can you communicate with it? We don't really need to. There's not much to speak about. Everyone's just really blissful. So I'm thinking I'm not going to get much else out of her. The bird don't want to talk. She doesn't want to talk. So I move her on. I think I'll move her on one more time. And if we still go to something that's, not much is happening, then I'll move her into a different life. But the next scene she goes to, she says, there's a big purple flower and it's being twisted and stood up in the ground. I think that's for me. I think I'm under it. You think you died? Yeah. What happened, Eliza? The energy, it just went from me. What was it that made the energy leave? I think I was squashed, stood on. Do you know how this happened? I keep seeing pictures of a horse. So it was an accident? And then I say to her, Eliza, every life we lead has a lesson. There's a lesson there that we're supposed to learn. What do you think the lesson was for this lifetime that you've just been in? And she said, it's so important to love everyone and help everyone that you can. This lifetime was just about love. So that was pretty awesome. So then I wanted to move this lady to the planet that she'd incarnated on before she came here, because I knew she was a starseed and she wanted to see her home planet as well. So I moved her back, all the way back, right the very back to before Earth, to the planet that she was on before she came to Earth. And the first thing that she says is, I can see a blue waterfall, but the water is like bright, vivid turquoise. That water doesn't look real. What else can you see? It's like locks. And if you look around this place from your point of perception, if you look down at yourself, what do you look like? I can't see myself. I can see a foot being dipped in the water now. It looks like one of our feet. Who does this foot belong to? Me. What do you look like? And I've seen this before, where the higher self is about to show this lady a form that she's not seen herself as before. It can be quite shocking to some people. So sometimes, and I have seen it happen before, they will show somebody a picture of a foot and then they'll take it away. And then it's almost like trying to say to him, you've not got feet in this reality. Because the next thing she says is this: the foot's gone and I've changed. What have you changed into? Allow yourself to see your form. Big laugh after a huge pause. I've got a fish bottom, but I'm a man at the top. So would you describe yourself as a merman? What words would you use to describe your form? Yeah, I suppose I'm a merman. Do you live in the water? Yes, and on the side. What do you do on the side when you're out of the water? We mainly rest there. Where is this place where we are, where you are this merman? What is this place that's home? Sirius A. In Sirius A, if your friends were to shout your name, what would they call you? Argus. On this beautiful planet Argus, what is it that you do all day? We just swim in this turquoise water and we don't really do much. What does the water feel like? I can't describe it. It's warm and tingly, and it looks almost as though it's stained. It's like a really vivid turquoise colour. Does your kind need to eat on Sirius A? Don't think we eat. How do you get your energy? What is it that sustains you? The environment, the water, the sun? Describe what Sirius A looks like. It's all shades of blues and pinks, lots of pinks. The sky is a blue with pink bits in it, merging together all of the blues and the pinks. It's beautiful. What other kinds of beings are there on this planet other than the mermen? And then there's a big pause, but I think she's still getting to grips with her own form here, because she says, we sort of look human-y, but not human-y features. Our ears are different. Describe yourselves. We're not quite as tall as humans. We have different features. And she still wouldn't explain what the features were, but she just kept on saying different features. Do you share the water with any other beings? Fish? Sea creatures? And under the ocean, is there anywhere under the ocean that you guys like to spend time? We've got caves. What are in the caves? Oh, I can see like a tunnel in the cave. It's gold on the floor, and then it's got round walls, and the walls are like a white crystal, like selenite. I'm going into the tunnel. So then there's a bit of a pause, and I say, what's at the end of the tunnel? And she says, hold on, I'm still going through it. It's a really long tunnel. So then I waited a bit longer and I went, how's it going? She's like, I'm still stuck in this tunnel. I said, is there anyone in this tunnel with you? No. Is it just you? I'm going on and on and on and on down this tunnel. I'm being pulled. What's pulling you? It's like light is pulling me down this tunnel. Keep going down this tunnel and see where we end up. And then she spent a good proportion of time still going down the tunnel. And then all of a sudden she said, I'm in space now. And I said, what happened on Sirius? How did we end up going down this tunnel? I don't know. I was seeing lots of water, and then I ended up in that tunnel, and then I ended up here. What is it that you see in space? I'm just bouncing around like a blob of energy. What colour are you? White. What does it feel like to be this white blob of energy? There's other ones too. It's peaceful. What is it that you can see as this energy and experience? I'm in front of the river of souls. describe the river of souls for me? Tiny, tiny blobs of energy ready to go down and be born again. What is it that they are breaking away from? They've had their meetings of who they're going to be, and now they're on that journey to a new life. What are these meetings that they've had? The ones where they decide if they're going to be a male or a female next time, or where they're going to go. Everything has been finalised, so they can go on this journey down the river till they are born again. How is it that they are born? They go into the womb of the person that they have agreed to be born into. And how do they do this? They just wait until a few months before the birth or when the baby is about to be born, and they go in when it is time. How do they get from the river of souls and into the baby's body? It's a dark tunnel. They get pulled down into it, and it comes out in the mother's womb. And these meetings that they have, where they decide what they will do next, who do they have these meetings with? Their guides, that are their main guide, who agree to stay with them. So he or she is there, and a couple of others. So this river of souls is the place where souls wait until they reincarnate back into a body. What does the river of souls look like? I'm stood in front of a massive mountain of pure energy, and the river of souls are just in front of it. What is this massive mountain of pure energy? It's Source. That's how we are all connected. How is it that we are still connected to Source? How does that work? You're attached. You have like a bright cord or a bright light that attaches you to Source, to the big energy. And when we die, do we go back to that big mountain? Yes, that's how we are brought back up, as we are attached. We'll always be attached. We're a part of it. What does it make you feel when you look at Source? Like my heart's out here. I feel all the love. My heart is pumping. What else can you see from where you are now? There's other bits of energy like me around on this side, just watching. It's just space, like the sky, but it's a different colour to the sky. What colour is it? I can't describe it. It's similar to indigo. Can you see any planets from where you are? No, not from where I am, no. How did you end up back with Source when we were on Sirius A? You were in the water, and then we went down a long tunnel, and now you are back here with Source. I get pulled here every time. Why do you get pulled? I get pulled back here to remind me, to show me where I will come back to. Is there anything else that we need to know about this amazing place while we are here? You'll be here. Everybody comes. Wow. And then at that point, I'd spent the amount of time that we were allowed to spend in that part of the session. So I moved on to the higher self. And I asked her higher self why it had chosen to show her the life as a fairy, the life as this merman on Sirius A, and then it pulled her back to Source to show her Source and to show them all as energy beings, to show the river of souls coming away from Source after they've had their life review from the previous incarnation, ready to reincarnate somewhere else. I asked the higher self, why did we see all that today? Because she will be back again to these places soon, as the world is changing, and she needs to see them now so she knows she will return to them again. Why is the world changing? Because people are becoming more aware and open. A lot of people are understanding what is happening, believing and spreading their beliefs to make more aware. What will happen to this planet when that awareness spreads? It will be totally different. You will see things that you can't see now. How will this change occur? What will happen? It's already changing. People are changing and making everything happen as it should, as it always should be. And then you know what I'm going to ask, because I always do. I'm always trying to get the goods for you guys. There are many people on the planet that talk about something happening called the event, which is spoken of as a huge wave of love and light that will reach the planet from our sun, and that the planet will be forever changed to a higher vibration. What message do you have for us on that? Everyone just needs to be ready and prepared. As long as they are showing love, they will be okay. What can people do to prepare? They need to treat their bodies with respect, because they can last a lot longer than they have been doing. They need to treat each other with respect. They need to meditate and listen to their guides. Do you have any indication as to when this event is likely to happen? It won't be too long, maybe a couple of years max. What needs to happen before the event can happen? More people need to wake up. Why is that necessary? Because they then need to wake up the ones who are still struggling to wake up. What can we do as light workers? Keep talking about things, even if people aren't listening. Even if you feel stupid at times. Keep raising awareness. How many more people need to wake up before the event can happen? Quite a few more, but it's spreading fast, but we do need more to wake up. What will happen when these people do wake up? What will happen next? That's when you'll see the things that you can't see now. And what are these things that we can't see now? The beautiful world that is really there. What everyone deserves to be living in. And then I ask, what kinds of creatures will we be able to see after the event? And she says, all of the creatures that you read about in the fairy tales. I just can't wait for that. I just cannot wait for that. I think in my heart, I have always been drawn to what we consider mythical creatures. As a child, I used to read Enid Blyton over and over and over again, the faraway tree, the magic faraway tree. And I just cannot wait for the day that the shift happens on this planet. The light comes in and it raises those who are ready to make the change. And we can see all of the different kingdoms again. I mean, what a day that is going to be. What a day. It's just going to be incredible. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today. I just want to thank you all, each and every one of you, for watching my videos. It really does mean the world to me. Genuinely does. If you haven't already subscribed to my videos, please do. It is free, there's no cost, but it just means that every video that I upload, it will pop up in your subscribe videos area, so you won't miss any of them. I will be posting more videos. I do have more sessions to transcribe. I have got quite a busy time coming up over the next few weeks. I'm going to be with Julia Cannon and some of the really senior QHHT practitioners in a couple of weeks' time to do more training within QHHT. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm going to be working on my second book and I'll let you know when I've finished that. I'm really, really excited about that. And a couple of other things to mention, because I always like to mention other people that I'm aware of that's doing really good work. There's a lady called Blossom Goodchild, and if you're not already aware of Blossom, her channelings are fantastic. She channels the Galactic Federation of Light and also White Cloud, and she's so incredible at switching between herself as Blossom and White Cloud. It is just an absolute joy to watch. So if you've not come across Blossom Goodchild before, please do check her out on YouTube or on her website. And also I came across another lady recently called Jessica Delmore, who's done a really good video about the Lionsgate Portal, the 8/8 I believe it's called, Lionsgate Portal, and that's a really good video that's well worth watching. So enjoy the Lionsgate, don't get triggered no matter what. Even if someone says something to you that triggers you, allow the emotion to come up, feel it, examine within you why you feel that trigger, allow the emotion to pass, and then come back to it a little bit later when you've allowed the anger or emotion to pass, and re-examine it again. And I'm going to give myself that advice as well. And I'm not going to get triggered. Even when my husband leaves crumbs on the countertop, I'm going to allow the emotion to pass. And I'm not going to get triggered. Not over the Lionsgate. Love you all. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon.